Hey everybody, welcome back to Vegas Tips and Tricks number 93. Today we're going to talk about some strip alternatives. And yeah, we're back in the red t-shirt, but we are back in the bedroom. We're not in the car today. So there you go. Just a reminder, a week from tonight, it's Wednesday, and that'll be, I think, the 30th, 29th, 30th of August. We're going to be doing our pre-John Timber live stream. So that's going to be coming up. Probably be 8 o'clock Central Time, so that's 9 o'clock on the East Coast, 6 o'clock in Vegas. So we'll get some kind of a thumbnail up this weekend, and we'll talk about it a little bit more on Vegas Tips and Tricks Weekly this Saturday. So we've covered pretty much all the major hotel, resort, casinos on the Las Vegas Strip, even a couple of properties that aren't really technically casinos, but or a part of some of the major casino companies like, say, Vdara. Anyway, today I wanted to cover a couple of options, and I will definitely not recommend a couple of them, and I will recommend a couple of them with some reservations. But first off, there are a lot, or there used to be a great many sort of cheap motels up and down Las Vegas Boulevard, both to the south end of the Strip and also between what we now would call the Strip and the downtown area. There aren't as many of those left, and that's probably just as well. Most of them were pretty kind of shady, at least they were by the time they went away. So we're not going to talk about any of those. There have been a couple of properties that have been remodeled recently that may be somewhat promising, but they're kind of far-flung. And we're not going to talk about the Aztec Inn. I don't even know if there's really a motel there. So we're going to cover a couple of motels and a couple of essentially kind of timeshare properties that do offer rooms for the night. The motel property is the Travelodge, and there's one right across the street from Circus Circus, and there's one kind of down there across the way from, I guess, City Center. Don't stay there. I mean, I have seen people that gave those properties good reviews, but they are few and far between, and those properties are just not where you want to be, and they're not cheap. That's the thing. I mean, once in a while, maybe when the Strip is sold out, when there's a lot of activity, you can get these at a cheaper rate, but it's just not worth it. They're very rundown properties, and I cannot recommend them, so don't stay there. There are a couple of kind of old school kind of timeshare properties. One of them is the Jockey Club, and the Jockey Club is almost invisible unless you know where to look, because it's literally wedged between Bellagio and Cosmopolitan. When they built Cosmopolitan, they wanted to get rid of the Jockey Club, but the Jockey Club was having nothing of it. And so basically they're just kind of tucked in next to Cosmo, which is a pretty good location. The rooms here are by and large okay. The prices are usually decent. So if you just have to stay in that Cosmo Bellagio area and they want $400 a night, well, you know, maybe you can get this place for 150, 200. I mean, they're kind of more apartment-like, so you do kind of get some kitchen things, that kind of stuff. And it's a good location, but certainly not a first choice. Now, across the street, kind of in the same area as one of the Travelodges, is the Polo Towers. The same sort of thing here, an old sort of timeshare property. By all accounts, rooms here are still pretty good. A little bit pricey normally, but again, if everything else is ridiculous, you might be able to get a good deal here. I think they still have like a lounge or some sort of area where you can kind of go and view the Strip. So it's not a bad view from there. I looked like today, for example, and the day of, and the rooms in both places were kind of in that $90 to $100 range. So I don't think it's going to work that way during the Formula One race. But so if you just can't find anything at any of the casino resorts, maybe look at Polo Towers, maybe look at Jockey Club, but I definitely would skip out on the Travelodge. Okay. All right. We'll be back next week with our live. We'll be back on Saturday with another episode of Vegas Tips and Tricks Weekly. Until then, hope you have a great, lucky, and healthy week. We'll see you all again real soon. Bye-bye.